Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope everybody's doing well. I hope your health is intact because health is wealth, right? And thank you for getting me to 500 subs. We on our way to 1,000 now. You feel me? Get your boys to 1,000. You know what I'm saying? So look, Stephen A. Smith went on the PBD podcast. And the topic came up about the voting Democrat in the black community, right? As we all know, black people have been voting Democrat since the 60s, right? We give the Democratic Party like 90% of our votes, you know what I'm saying? And now a lot of people are waking up like, yo, like we just give these people our votes. They have to show something for it, you know what I'm saying? So let's take a listen to what Stephen A. Smith had to say.
I think things are so different today because let's go back to, you've talked about this before, and I'll just kind of ask you, I think it's good for the audience if you want to go through it. 1960, 64% of African Americans would vote Democrat.
Yes, sir.
The rest was conservative.
Yes, sir.
Let's put liberal and conservative. That's a better way of saying it, right?
Okay.
64 liberal, 36 conservative. 1964.
Right. In the 1960s, right, or early 1960s, only 60% of blacks used to vote for Democrats, and 40% was Republican.
Or 4 years later, 92% blacks are voting Democrat.
Yeah.
That's a big jump, right? That's a big jump from 60% to 92%. That's madness, right? Let's keep going.
Johnson civil rights legislation.
So what happened there? Maybe give a little bit of the history of Goldwater, Lyndon Johnson, what he did.
JFK's assassinated. Lyndon B. Johnson's in office. Republicans and Democrats, back in the day, Dixiecrats, bipartisanly bring a bill to the desk of Lyndon B. Johnson. He signed civil rights legislation in the law. According to whatever reports you believe, Lyndon B. Johnson says, we bring this legislation, we sign this legislation in the law, we'll have the Negroes voting for us for the next 50 years.
Facts. They know that's a fact, bro. As soon as they signed that, he says we're gonna have blacks voting for us for the next 20 years. And counting, right? We're still voting for them. This is crazy.
Sure enough, that's what it was. And I think me personally, as I've edified myself over the years to see what's been transpiring in our community, on one hand, when I look at legislation and I think about affirmative action and other things, and I see how I've benefited because opportunities were given to me at a particular moment in time in the 80s, for example, when, that some would say may not have been given to me if I were not an African-American or you didn't have affirmative action in a place and what have you. When you hear those things.
Right. For some people, affirmative action actually helped because, 9 times out of 10, like he says, maybe you wouldn't, get those jobs that he went for, right, as a black man. So, but when you take a step back and look at how the black community is doing, you start asking yourself, look, is voting Democrat the way to go, right? Because obviously, our community should have been better, right? If we give 92% of our votes to the Democrats, right? Now black people start to wake up. It's starting to wake up like, wait a minute, right?
You're trying to lean left because you're saying they're thinking about us. And like you said, those messengers from the Democratic Party are very profound. You've got Jimmy Carter in office, but the economy was so bad, so Reagan had to get him out of there. But you got Reagan in office from 80 to 88. You're looking at what transpired in his administration, good or bad, depending on how you think about it. But if you're not educated, what are you thinking? Did he care about black people? You're actually asking those questions if you're coming from the black community.
Right.
And you're not reading all the time. You're not educating yourself because you're literally trying to survive. And when that happens, ultimately it becomes habit. Your mama voted Democrat, your dad voted Democrat, your big sister, big brother voted Democrat. How could you think about voting any other way?
That's a fact. That's a fact, right? A lot of us just vote Democrats because our parents vote Democrats, man. Facts. You know what I'm saying? When you ask about the Republican Party, they tell you, hey, don't worry about them. That's the party of the racist. You know what I'm saying? Like, these people are racist, right? We don't vote for them, right? We only vote Democrat. So it's like, you know, we're just following each other at this point. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't know who we're voting for. And all the Democrats have to do is play like some Tupac, right, lyrics. You feel me? Play some Biggie Smalls lyrics, and we're gonna vote for them, right? All they have to show is that they are down with the black community so that we can vote for them. That's a fact, man. Let's keep going. He's spitting right now.
All of a sudden, those habits kick in, and then you get older and older, and you start seeing how it profoundly affects your life as an individual, and you're like, wait a minute. Like, for example, for me, when we go back to 2016, 2020, Hillary was somebody that I would not have mind seeing in office. In 2020, I can tell you right now, I would have voted for Kasich. In 2016, I would have voted for Kasich. I would have voted for Chris Christie. I would have voted definitely for those guys. And there's a plethora. I would have voted for Nikki Haley. If Nikki Haley was running right now instead of Donald Trump, she would be getting my vote over the Democrats. I wouldn't hesitate because no matter what you think about those folks, they show you they know how to be an adult in the room. That's a far cry from where I was 15, 20 years ago. It would have been Democrat all day, every day. I don't think like that now. And I don't, and honestly speaking, I don't think anybody should. I don't think it's right to have any party affiliation with today's politics because I don't think you can trust either side. I think you got to watch what they do, see what.
That's a fact. That's what I've been saying, right? Right now, I am not a Republican and I am not a Democrat, right? I look at both parties, assess both parties, and then see who I'm voting for. I'm not gonna just go to the ballot and give you my vote for no reason, for nothing. Those days are over, right? We are grown now. We could think for ourselves, right? So, and at the same time, we are trying to educate our parents so that they could do the same. It's like, oh, your dad, the Democratic Party, it ain't really, you know what I'm saying? Yo, the Republicans, right now, it's I believe it's between the haves and the have-nots. You feel me? It's between the haves and the have-nots. You don't know. These parties doesn't have your best interest. That's a fact, right? So you look at the policies right now. Kennedy sounds good to me right now, right? Kennedy, my vote is leaning towards Kennedy a little bit because I like what he's, the way he speak, like things like that and the shit that he be saying, right? But I don't know who I'm voting for right now, which party I'm voting for, and that's how it should be for all black people. You know what I'm saying? We should be able to think for ourselves. We should be able to sit and make a decision instead of following each other, right? Let's keep going.
What they do and see what policies work best for you. And Mark Levin once said this to me, along with Dr. Michael Eric Dyson. He said, hey, man, most people vote their issues. They're not looking at, you can bring up immigration, the economy, all right. Whatever issue is most near and dear to them, that's what they focus on. So you got a black community right now that'll look at Joe Biden. You know what they'll say right now? Well, Barack Obama gave about $330 million to HBCUs, historically black colleges and universities. Trump comes in there, he gives about $360 8 years later. Barack Obama did that in 2010. Trump did that in 2018, about $360 million. But now look what Biden and the Biden administration has done. They've dedicated over $7 billion. For some folks, that's enough. Not for me, not for others, but for some folks, that's enough. And it's about finding that one issue. Because why? How did they learn? Then this is why I can fault the politicians just as much as I can fault the voter.
Facts.
Because folks got that way because the politicians got them that way. Because you go into their respective communities and you give that song and dance and that lip service about that one issue they cared most about.
That's a fact.
That's what you wanted.
That's a fact, right? I always say this, right? The Republicans, they don't know how to play the game. They don't know how to play the game. The Democrats are smart. They know what, you know what I'm saying? What gonna get our attention. They know that. You know what I'm saying? So they just play with that right in our faces so that we can vote for them. They smart, man. But the Republicans, they don't know what the hell they doing. You know what I'm saying? They just, like, come on, bro. Like, a lot, the thing with the Republicans is the things that they say, they sound racist. Let's be real, right? They might not be really racist, but they sound racist. You know what I'm saying? To black people, right?
What you train the voter to be like, and in most instances now, it's coming back to bite you.
May I?
Yes.
I want to say, because you said a lot, and I want to write it down, and I want to go through each of these to the best of my ability.
Sure.
So, 1964, Rob, you pulled it up, and I'm glad you said it, because I went and actually looked at Snopes. Go to Snopes, because I wanted to know, did he actually say that, right? Because this is what we found. I won't read it, but the audience can read it. Can you go a little lower where it shows the whole thing? Okay, we can just show that at the top, and then we'll read the whole thing. Okay, right here. You can do that right there. Boom,
yep.
That's right. They're getting pretty uppity these days, and that's a problem for us.
Wow.
They've got something now they've never had before, the political pull to back up their uppityness. Now we've got to do something about this, and we've got to give them a little something, just enough to quiet them down, not enough to make a difference, and then boom, you know that line. You brought it up.
Have those.
I'll have him voting this way.
I have those niggas voting Democrats for the next 200 years.
You know what Snopes said? Snopes didn't say it's not right. Go a little bit more. It says unproven.
That's a racist, man. That's a bigot, right? That's a demon, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. Why would you say something like that? Right? And these are the people that we vote for. The Democratic Party changed. They love us now. They're gonna bring Sukiyana to the White House, bro. Like, what are you talking about, bro? Right? This what's going on. This is what's going on.
And Snopes is one that would typically be quick to say they never said this. Then CNBC writes an article, if you can pull this one up. CNBC writes an article saying Lyndon Johnson was a civil rights hero, but also a racist. And if you look at the stuff about him, how many times he dropped the, N-word and all this other stuff, this guy was not wanting to do what he did with civil rights. No. Credit goes to one man and the community that pushed it.
That's a fact. I don't think it was his idea. They forced him to do it. You know what I'm saying? He was forced to do it. He didn't want to do that. This racist, he didn't want to do that, man. Right?
Reason why we all have a poster or painting of him in our offices and our walls, and he's admired by everybody. It doesn't matter, left, right, center, white, black, Asian, Hispanic. Everybody loves and admires what this man did. One of the greatest movements of all time. He accomplished it in a peaceful way, different than X. He was able to get it done, right? Okay. At that time, can you type in Civil Rights March? Just type in Civil Rights March, if you don't mind doing that. Just type in Civil Rights March. And go to images, if you could do that. When you type in civil rights, click on that first picture. What do you see a lot of? Look at the way they're dressed. Yeah. Just look at the way, go to the bottom left picture maybe that's got more people in suits, bottom left.
Bottom left.
Look at the ties, look at the suits,
tuxedos.
Look at the tuxedos, look at the bow ties. Wow. Mm-hmm. Pure class on the way it's being dressed. So Lyndon Johnson, War on Poverty, 1964. Do you know at the time, can you look up when Planned Parenthood came out? Maybe you can look. I don't know the exact year. When did
that's
Planned
another
Parenthood
racist that created that.
Planned
Parenthood
year is it? Go a little bit. Singer, whatever her name is, where he started the movement.
We don't know that.
So you look at some of this data, and you see that we went at the time when kids are being born. Yeah. Only 4% of kids in America, if you can pull up the stat, Rob, 4% of kids in America were born. Okay. Yeah. In single-family household, right. 96%, mom and dad. Yeah. Fast forward, we went from 4% to 41%. Mm-hmm. And by the way, it's even higher for African Americans. Mm-hmm. This is America. This is not African Americans. Percentage of children born out of wedlock, but African American is to the roof. that wasn't the case. You guys were always united, conservative. It's a good community, respectful, Bible Belt.
Right. By nature, we are conservative. We are a bunch of conservative people by nature. That's a fact, right? The black community, we are conservative people, but we become liberal or liberalized because of the Democratic Party. You know what I'm saying? I think we need not to, I'm not saying that we need to just stop voting Democrat, but we need to think for ourselves, right? We need to take a step back from that party, right? Both parties, be in the middle. Be in the middle, right? Don't promise nobody nothing, because they know the reason why they haven't done anything is because we keep giving them our votes. That's why they haven't done shit. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep going.
When I was in the Army, and my friends in the Army, I was hanging out when I would go see their families, I was afraid of their mothers. No, seriously. Right. Your mother would have talked to me like I'm her son. Right. And she would put me in my place. It was a different kind of a culture. Right. That was what I was accustomed to, right? So to me, when they say systemic racism, if you want to give anybody credit, it's Lyndon Johnson. And he succeeded in actually trying to create that kind of an environment. And the reason why he was very creative on the way he did it is he blamed the other side for it and got them, the blacks, to vote Democratic for God knows how many decades until now, where things are slightly changing. And I'll wrap up the thoughts here, and I want to get your...
But can I respond to what you just said?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that when you mention all of those things, first of all, you said nothing that I can dispute. Nothing. Because that's just factually correct, what you pointed out. And I think that the important thing to bring up when we bring that stuff up is that is exactly the reason why black folks in America have historically over the last 50 plus years had that divide with the Republican Party. Stay with me. What happened is, Patrick, you invite me onto this show and you talk to me. We're having this conversation. You show me facts. I leave this office. I give you no resistance. And then you turn on the TV and I'm like, Patrick Bet-Davis full of it. Look what he brought up. This some racist BS, blah, 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 blah. You'd never want to talk to me again. It's disingenuous. It's not educated. It's not fair. One of the things that we have to pay attention to is that there is a Republican Party that can't disguise its resentment towards black America because of what you just pointed out. It's just that we're looking at it differently. As this black person, when I got to know Republicans and I heard my parents speaking about conservatism and stuff like that, I remember asking my mother one day, I said, you know that fact. How would you feel if you know that you contributed to bringing civil rights legislation to the desk of the presidency to sign in the law, and that was ignored? Because the party that he represented, he made sure they got all the credit for what you played a role in bringing to the table that helped the African-American community, supposedly. And it was completely ignored. You'd lose our respect because you'd believe you're not educated enough. You're putting forth your due diligence to know it wasn't just him, it was us. And his intent wasn't honorable. Ours was. I think that you have a lot of Republicans who are knowledgeable about that history that you just pointed out and the distaste that they have had for African Americans for a period of time at the very least emanates from that, from folks not knowing what role they play. When I listen to a Sean Hannity or Mark Levin and Andrew Wilkow and others talk about black America's history and racism, they never fail to point out the Democrats played a huge, huge role in this, y'all.
That's a fact.
And the black community lets them off the hook. They look at us, and there's a level of absolute frustration, palpable frustration that comes from that. I don't always agree with it, but I understand it, which made it easy for me to communicate with members of the Republican Party when they come to me and they want to talk about different issues, because I'm like, I want to learn more. I want to hear this, because You're not going to come to me and engage in demonization talking about the other side, in this case, the right. You're not doing that. What are your policies? What are you bringing to the table? Don't talk to me about them being racist, because you know what else? You're asking me to assume you're not. How do I know you're not? I know there were.
You heard what he said? Oh, y'all listening? He's spitting right now. Right? How do I know that you're not racist? Because you keep telling me the other side is racist. You're not showing me any policies, right? All you showed me was some rap lyrics, right? Right? All you showed me was how you could dance to some hip hop music, right? How you brought what's his name? Fat Joe to the White House. That's all you giving me, man. Where is the intangibles? This is crazy. How do I know that you're not a racist? You keep telling me the other side's a racist, but how do I know that you're not a racist? Because based on your actions, you're a racist. You're probably more racist than the other side. Right? Right? I should just wrap this up right here. Right?
With KKK members that were members of the Democratic Party that were on Capitol Hill. Robert Byrd of West Virginia, to name one of them. I know that for a fact. And so why are we to assume that just because you're a Democrat, you're on our side? So I do get where you're coming from, and I understand.
Yeah. So to
Yup. How do I know? How do I know that you're on our side? Right? How do I know? Because, like he said, there were a lot of KKK members that was a part, that was in Capitol Hill. That's a fact, right? Until this day, that are a part of the Democratic Party. How do I know that you're not a racist? Right? So now, this is it for this video. I just want us as a community to be in the middle. Be in the middle, right? And then make a decision. Don't be on the Democratic side and then try to make a decision or just keep voting Democrat, right? Because if they know that we're going to vote for them, they ain't going to do nothing. That's just basic, right? That's a fact, right? So we have to stay in the middle, assess both parties, look, read the policies, check the policies, and then make a decision. That's how we should do it, man. That's where I'm at now. Because I'm in the middle, that doesn't mean automatically I'm just gonna go vote Republican. That's not gonna happen, right? And right now, the way Trump and Biden is looking, man, we want something new, man. We want somebody new, bro, right? It's the same thing over and over. They're going back and forth, cursing at each other, making jokes, and we're done with that, right? Kennedy's looking pretty good. I'm leaning Kennedy a little bit, but you never know. Trump might do a 360, and I end up voting for Trump. You don't know. But right now, I'm in the middle, as I should be, right? This is it, man. This is it. Look, man, please, guys, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And, I'm trying to get this page to at least 1,000, and then we could go up from there, right? Until next time.